Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you weren't living up to your full potential? Do you ever feel like you're capable of so much more, but something is holding you back? The truth is, the only thing standing between you and the person you want to become is action. If you want to change your life, you have to change what you do every single day. You have to push yourself, break bad habits, and build new ones. You have to let go of the past, stop caring about what others think, and focus on becoming the best version of yourself. It won't be easy, and some days will test you. But if you stay committed, if you refuse to quit, you will become someone nobody recognizes, because you'll be stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before. Are you ready to step up and make it happen? Number 1, take responsibility for your life and own your future. You have one life, just one. And the truth is, no one is going to live it for you. No one is coming to save you, to push you, to do the work for you. This is your responsibility. Your life is in your hands. And if you're sitting there waiting for things to change, let me be real with you. Nothing will change until you decide to take full responsibility. Most people go through life blaming circumstances, blaming the past, blaming their upbringing, blaming the economy, blaming their boss, blaming their parents. They point fingers at everything and everyone except themselves. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. That's why they never grow. That's why they wake up every morning feeling like life is happening to them, instead of realizing they have the power to shape it. Listen to me. If you want to change your life, if you want to become someone nobody recognizes, the first step is taking full responsibility. Not just for your successes, but for your failures. Not just for the good things, but for the bad ones too. Because here's the truth. Where you are right now, in this very moment, is the result of every choice you've ever made. The habits you built, the people you surrounded yourself with, the risks you did or didn't take. All of it has led you here. And I know what you're thinking, but Jim, you don't know my situation. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know how hard it's been. You're right, I don't. But I do know this. There are people who have faced worse and still made something of themselves. There are people who have been knocked down harder, had less, struggled more, and still got up and built the life they wanted. And do you know why? Because they took responsibility. They stopped making excuses. They stopped waiting for someone to give them permission. They took control. You see, the moment you stop blaming anything outside of yourself is the moment you take your power back. That's the moment you go from being a victim of life to being the creator of your future. Because if your choices got you here, then your choices can get you out. If your habits created this version of you, then new habits can create a new version. But it starts with ownership. So what does that look like? It looks like waking up in the morning and deciding, today, I'm gonna do better. It looks like holding yourself accountable when you break your promises to yourself. It looks like refusing to let your past define you. It looks like saying no more excuses, no more waiting, no more blaming. Because every day you waste pointing fingers is another day lost. Another day you could have used to build something better. Another day you could have used to push yourself forward. You don't have time to waste. You don't have time to live in regret. If you want to change, if you want to evolve, if you want to wake up one day and not even recognize the person you used to be, it starts now. Look at your life. Really look at it. Are you proud of where you are? Are you happy with the way you spend your days? If the answer is no, that's not a bad thing. That's awareness. And awareness is the first step. But awareness without action is useless. You have to do something about it. You have to change the way you think, the way you act, the way you live. And I know it's not easy. Change is hard. Growth is uncomfortable, but staying the same is worse. Waking up 5 years from now in the same place, with the same regrets, the same frustration, the same excuses. That's the real pain. That's the real nightmare. And you don't want that. So take ownership today. No more waiting for the perfect time. No more waiting for motivation. No more waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to go after what you want. Take responsibility now, because your life depends on it. Number 2, push yourself beyond your comfort zone every single day. Pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone isn't just an idea, it's a necessity. Growth doesn't happen in places of ease. If you want to become someone unrecognizable, someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before, you must step into discomfort every single day. Most people live their lives trapped in routines. They wake up, go through the motions, and do only what feels safe and familiar. They avoid challenges because challenges bring uncertainty. They avoid discomfort because discomfort brings struggle. But what they don't realize is that staying comfortable is the reason they feel stuck. It's the reason they feel unfulfilled. It's the reason their life isn't changing. You have to make a decision right now. Will you stay the same, or will you push yourself? Will you let fear control you, or will you step forward despite it? Every great person you admire, every person who has achieved something meaningful, has one thing in common. They did what others wouldn't. They faced discomfort head on. They didn't let fear dictate their future. They didn't allow comfort to hold them back. It starts with small choices. Every single day you have opportunities to step outside of your comfort zone. Maybe it's waking up earlier than you're used to. Maybe it's speaking up when you normally stay quiet. Maybe it's pushing yourself harder in your workouts. Maybe it's taking on a challenge that scares you. The more you do this, the stronger you become. The more you push yourself, the more you realize what you're truly capable of. Fear is always going to be there. It doesn't go away. But courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite it. You have to move forward even when you're uncertain. You have to take action even when it feels uncomfortable. If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. Readiness comes through action, not before it. Every time you push yourself, you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. You break old limits. You destroy the beliefs that once held you back. You start seeing yourself differently. That's how transformation happens. That's how you become someone nobody recognizes. You go from a person who hesitates to a person who takes action. You go from someone who avoids discomfort to someone who thrives in it. You have to be willing to struggle. You have to be willing to fail, because every failure is a lesson. Every challenge is an opportunity. The more you expose yourself to difficulty, the stronger you become. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in moments of pressure, in moments of challenge, in moments where you want to quit but don't. Push yourself today. Do something that scares you. Do something you've been avoiding. Stop waiting for the right time. The right time is now. If you keep playing it safe, your future will look exactly like your past. But if you push yourself beyond what's comfortable, you'll wake up one day and not even recognize the person you used to be. Number 3, transform your habits to build a better version of yourself. The reality you are living right now is built on the small decisions you make daily. You may not see it, but every action compounds over time. Who you become is not determined by one big moment or a single opportunity. It is shaped by the small, repeated behaviors you engage in every day. If you want a different life, if you want to be unrecognizable from who you are today, you must start by reshaping the habits that define you. Most people underestimate the power of habits. They think success comes from motivation, from luck, or from one major breakthrough. That's not how it works. Success is a result of consistency, of doing the right things over and over again, even when you don't feel like it. If you wait until you feel ready or inspired, you will never start. You must take action now, whether you feel like it or not, and make discipline your driving force. Look at your current life. The results you have right now are the outcome of past habits. If you are not happy with where you are, it means your habits have not served you. If you feel stuck, if you feel like you are not progressing, the first thing you must do is analyze your daily routine. What are you doing that is keeping you in the same place? What behaviors are leading you away from the person you want to become? Be brutally honest with yourself, because until you identify the problem, you cannot change it. Now let's talk about solutions. Change does not come from wishful thinking. It comes from taking action. If you want to transform your habits, you must first define who you want to become. Do not focus on what you don't want. Focus on the person you do want to be. Do you want to be strong? Do you want to be financially free? Do you want to be more disciplined, more focused, more driven? Whatever it is, get clear about it. Because once you have a vision of your future self, you can start building habits that align with that vision. Start with small, deliberate changes. If you try to change everything at once, you will fail. The mind resists drastic changes. Instead, introduce new habits gradually, but with full commitment. If you want to be healthier, Don't try to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start by cutting out one unhealthy food. Start by drinking more water. Start by moving your body every day. If you want to be more disciplined, start by waking up at the same time every morning. Start by organizing your day with purpose. These small actions may seem insignificant at first, but over time they will reshape your identity. Your habits are a reflection of your standards. If you have low standards for yourself, you will accept lazy, unproductive behaviors. If you set high standards, you will demand more from yourself. You will push yourself to follow through, even when no one is watching. This is the difference between those who succeed and those who stay average. It is not about talent or intelligence. It is about what you repeatedly do. Building new habits requires discipline, but breaking old habits requires awareness. Many people fail because they try to introduce new behaviors without eliminating the ones that are holding them back. You cannot move forward while dragging your past mistakes with you. Identify the habits that are keeping you weak, distracted, or unmotivated. Maybe it's wasting hours on social media. Maybe it's staying up late doing nothing productive. Maybe it's surrounding yourself with negative influences. Whatever it is, eliminate it. There is no room for growth if you keep repeating the same destructive cycles. One of the most powerful ways to build strong habits is by controlling your environment. If you surround yourself with distractions, you will struggle to focus. If you keep unhealthy food in your home, you will eat it. If you spend time with people who have no ambition, their mindset will influence you. Your surroundings shape your actions more than you realize. If you want to build good habits, design your environment to support them. Make success the default option. Make bad habits harder to do, and make good habits easier to follow. Another crucial factor in building strong habits is accountability. If you rely only on yourself, you may struggle to stay consistent. But when you make a public commitment, when you have someone holding you accountable, your chances of success increase dramatically. Find a mentor, coach, or a group of people who will push you to stay on track. Surround yourself with individuals who challenge you to be better. Stay away from those who encourage mediocrity. Habits are built through repetition, not perfection. You will have days where you slip. You will make mistakes. That does not mean you have failed. The key is to get back on track immediately. Do not let one bad day turn into a bad week. Do not let one mistake convince you to quit. Your success is determined by how quickly you recover from setbacks. Think about the future. If you do nothing, where will you be in a year, in 5 years? Will you be proud of the person you have become, or will you regret wasting time? Now think about what happens if you commit to change. If you stay consistent, if you build habits that push you forward, imagine how much progress you will make. Your future is determined by what you do today. Do not wait. Start now. Transforming your habits is not just about improving your daily routine. It is about reshaping your entire identity. Every action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming. If you want to be someone unrecognizable from who you are today, take control of your habits now. Because in the end, success is not about what you want. It is about what you are willing to do every single day. Number 4, let go of the past and start a new chapter. The past is something many of us hold on to far too tightly. Whether it's past mistakes, regrets, or pain, we allow these things to define us. And by doing so, we trap ourselves in a version of ourselves that no longer serves us. Holding on to the past, no matter how much it hurt or how much it shaped you, will only hold you back from the future you are capable of creating. If you want to become someone unrecognizable from who you are today, you must first let go of the past. Letting go of the past is not about forgetting. It's not about erasing the memories, the lessons, or the people who have been a part of your life. It's about releasing the hold those things have over you. It's about stepping away from the emotional weight you've been carrying and choosing to move forward with a clear mind and an open heart. The past is gone. You can't change it, but the future, that's where you have the power. Think about how much time you've wasted dwelling on what's behind you, the mistakes you made, the people who hurt you, the opportunities you missed. All of that only exists in your mind, and it's keeping you stuck. When you hold on to past failures, you carry them with you into every new situation. You create stories in your head that limit your potential. You believe you're not good enough because of what happened before. You live in the shadow of a version of yourself that no longer exists. But the reality is, you are not who you were yesterday. Every moment is an opportunity to rewrite your story. Every decision you make today has the power to shape your future. You are the author of your life, and you can choose what happens next. But to do that, you have to let go of the past. You can't start a new chapter if you're still holding on to the old one. It starts with forgiveness. Not for them, but for you. Holding on to anger, resentment, or regret only hurts you. It doesn't hurt the person who wronged you. It doesn't change the situation. It just eats away at your peace of mind. Letting go doesn't mean you forget or accept what happened. It means you free yourself from the emotional burden it places on you. You take back your power. There is a common misconception that letting go of the past means you have to pretend it didn't happen. That's not true. You can acknowledge the pain. You can honor the lessons, but you can also choose not to let it control your present. You have the right to stop carrying the weight of what happened and start creating a future that excites you. Another critical part of letting go is releasing the stories you tell yourself. The stories you've created about why you can't move forward. The stories about how you'll never be successful because of what's happened. These stories are nothing more than mental chains. They keep you bound to a version of yourself that is limited, afraid, and stuck in the past. The truth is, you are capable of more than you realize, but those stories need to be rewritten. You have to stop defining yourself by your past. The person you were doesn't have to be the person you continue to be. Your mistakes do not have to be your identity. Just because you've been through something hard doesn't mean you can't become someone stronger, someone wiser, someone better. You have the power to create a new identity. But to do that, you need to stop dragging the old one around with you. Think about the weight you carry. How much energy do you spend each day thinking about what happened before? How much of your day is consumed by past hurts, past failures, and past regrets? Imagine what your life would look like if you let go of all of that. Imagine how much lighter you would feel, how much more energy you would have for the present moment. Now, I know letting go isn't easy. It requires conscious effort. It takes time. It takes courage. But it's one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. Because when you let go of the past, you free yourself to grow. You free yourself to take chances. You free yourself to experience the kind of future you've always wanted. Starting a new chapter means shedding the old version of you. It means saying goodbye to the person who was limited by fear, who let past failures dictate their future, who believed they weren't good enough. It means stepping into a new role, the role of someone who is ready to take on whatever comes next. Someone who believes in their own potential. Someone who has learned from the past but isn't ruled by it. Letting go of the past is a process, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's a series of small intentional steps, but with every step, you will feel lighter, freer, and more aligned with who you are meant to be. Every time you choose to release something from your past, you make room for something better to enter your life. You will find that as you let go, new opportunities will begin to show up. People who align with your new mindset will appear. You will attract experiences that match the energy you are now vibrating at. And most importantly, you will start to believe in yourself again. If you want to become someone nobody recognizes, you have to let go of the old version of you. The person who was afraid, the person who stayed small, the person who allowed fear, doubt, and past mistakes to hold them back. That version of you is no longer needed. You have a new story to write, a new chapter to begin. And the only way to start that chapter is to let go of everything that's holding you back. The beauty of life is that it is always in motion. Every day is a chance to reinvent yourself. But you can only reinvent yourself when you choose to step forward, leaving behind what no longer serves you. You don't need to carry your past into your future. You don't need to keep repeating old patterns. You don't need to keep telling the same story. Let go. Let go of the mistakes. Let go of the pain. Let go of the doubts. Let go of the people who don't serve your growth. Let go of the beliefs that are keeping you stuck. It's time to release everything that's holding you back from becoming who you're truly meant to be. You have an incredible future ahead of you, but it starts with letting go of everything that's holding you to the past. The future belongs to those who are willing to release what's behind them and step into something new. You can create a life that makes you proud. You can build a life that makes you excited to wake up each morning. But it begins with one simple choice: to start a new chapter, free from the weight of the past. Number 5. Commit to growth, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. Growth is never easy. It's not about taking the comfortable route or choosing what feels good in the moment. Growth requires you to stretch, to break old patterns, and to endure discomfort. It requires a commitment to something bigger than yourself, something that will push you to levels of strength, resilience, and capability that you've never known before. If you truly want to transform your life, you have to commit to growth, even when it's uncomfortable, and even when it feels impossible. Most people avoid discomfort at all costs. They avoid pain, they avoid struggle, they avoid anything that challenges their current way of being. But here's the truth. You cannot grow without discomfort. You cannot become stronger, smarter, more successful, or more capable unless you push through the pain and struggle that growth demands. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you are choosing to stay where you are. You are choosing to remain stuck in the same patterns, same habits, and same results that have kept you where you are. If you want to break free from this, you have to commit to growth, no matter how uncomfortable it may feel in the moment. We all know that growth happens outside of our comfort zones. But why do we keep avoiding it? The answer is simple: because growth is hard. It's hard to wake up early when you're exhausted. It's hard to stick to a new routine when you feel like giving up. It's hard to make difficult decisions and face the fear of failure. But the reality is, those moments of discomfort are the very moments that define your progress. They are the moments that separate those who succeed from those who stay the same. If you are truly committed to growth, you must be willing to embrace the discomfort that comes with it. When you're pushing yourself beyond your limits, you will encounter resistance. You will feel exhausted. You will question if it's worth it. But this is the test. This is where true growth happens. The moments of struggle, the moments when you want to quit, are the very moments where your growth is happening beneath the surface. Think about it. When you go to the gym and push your muscles beyond their usual capacity, what happens? It hurts. It burns. It's uncomfortable. But those are the moments when your muscles are actually breaking down so they can rebuild stronger than before. It's the same with your personal growth. Every time you push yourself, you are breaking down your old self and rebuilding a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. But here's the thing, growth isn't a straight line. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. It's full of setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. There will be times when you feel like you're making progress, and then there will be times when it feels like you're moving backward. But that's okay. That's part of the process. The key is to keep going, to keep showing up, and to keep making the decision to grow, even when it's hard. Commitment to growth doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. It doesn't mean you're going to have every single day figured out. It doesn't mean that every decision you make is going to be the right one. It means that no matter how many times you fall, you will get back up. It means that no matter how many times you fail, you will keep learning. It means that you will never stop moving forward, even when you feel like giving up. One of the biggest reasons people avoid growth is because of fear. They fear failure. They fear rejection. They fear looking foolish. But the reality is, you can't grow without failing. You can't grow without facing rejection. You can't grow without stepping into the unknown and taking risks. Every successful person you admire has failed at some point. Every person who has accomplished something significant has faced fear, but they didn't let it stop them. They didn't let it define them. They didn't let it keep them from their goals. When you commit to growth, you're committing to the process of becoming the best version of yourself, even when it's hard. And that means you have to face your fears head on. You have to take the risks. You have to keep showing up, even when you don't feel like it. Because in the end, the rewards of growth far outweigh the temporary discomfort you'll experience along the way. Another reason people shy away from growth is because it requires change. And change is uncomfortable. It forces you to let go of old habits, old beliefs, and old ways of doing things. Change forces you to step into the unknown, and that can be terrifying. But change is the only way to evolve. If you keep doing the same things, you'll keep getting the same results. If you want something different, you have to do something different. Change isn't optional. If you want to grow, it's a requirement. So what does commitment to growth look like in action? It means taking responsibility for your life and your progress. It means showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It means putting in the work, even when it's hard. It means making decisions that may not be comfortable in the moment, but will pay off in the long run. It means being patient with yourself, knowing that growth takes time and that setbacks are part of the journey. Commitment to growth also means being willing to stretch your limits. If you're constantly doing what you're comfortable with, you're not growing. You have to push yourself to do things that scare you, to take risks, and to step outside of your comfort zone. You have to keep challenging yourself to be better, to do better, and to become more than you were yesterday. Finally, commitment to growth means developing the mindset that failure is not the end. It's simply a lesson. Failure is not something to fear. It's something to embrace. It's a necessary part of the process. Every failure teaches you something valuable, something that will help you succeed in the future. When you stop seeing failure as something to avoid and start seeing it as a stepping stone to success, you will free yourself from the fear that holds you back. When you commit to growth, you're committing to a life of constant improvement. You're committing to a journey that will push you past your limits and force you to become someone better. You're committing to living a life of purpose, discipline, and resilience. And in the end, when you look back on all the challenges you faced, all the discomfort you endured, and all the obstacles you overcame, you'll realize that it was all worth it. The growth, the transformation, the person you've become will all be the reward for your commitment. So make the decision today, commit to growth, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult, because that's where the real magic happens. Number 6, break free from the expectations of others and live authentically. Many of us live our lives constantly seeking approval, trying to meet the expectations of others, and shaping our decisions based on what we believe others want from us. It's easy to fall into the trap of doing what's expected because it feels safe, and it's what society, our family, or our friends believe is the right path. But living this way can leave you feeling stuck, unfulfilled, and far from the true version of yourself. If you want to become someone nobody recognizes, you must break free from the expectations of others and start living authentically. Living authentically means making choices that are aligned with your true self, not the version of you that others want you to be. It's about stepping into your own power, embracing who you are at your core, and choosing a path that feels true to your values and passions. When you stop living for others and start living for yourself, everything changes. But breaking free from the expectations of others is not as simple as just deciding one day to be yourself. It requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to face the discomfort of stepping outside the norms that you've been conditioned to follow. We are often told who we should be, what we should want, and how we should live our lives. From the moment we are born, society begins to shape us, often without us even realizing it. We're told to go to school, get good grades, get a good job, settle down, and follow a predictable, conventional path. For many, this path is not their own. It's a blueprint that has been handed down, and we are expected to follow it without question. The problem is that following this path doesn't always lead to fulfillment. It leads to living someone else's life, not your own. Living authentically requires you to tune into your inner voice. It requires you to look beyond the surface and ask yourself deep questions like, what do I truly want in life? What makes me feel alive? What is my purpose? These questions require reflection, and most importantly, the courage to go against the grain. When you break free from the expectations of others, you stop allowing their views to dictate your actions. Instead, you listen to your heart, your intuition, and your own inner wisdom. To live authentically, you must also confront the fear of judgment. One of the biggest obstacles to authenticity is the fear of what others will think of us. We worry about being judged, criticized, or rejected for not fitting into the mold that others have set for us. The truth is, you will never please everyone, and that's okay. The moment you realize that, you will begin to feel the weight of other people's opinions lifting off your shoulders. People will always have something to say about how you live your life, but their opinions are not your truth. When you let go of this fear, you free yourself to live without limits. It's important to recognize that living authentically doesn't mean you have to throw everything away or make drastic changes overnight. It's a gradual process of shedding the layers of expectations that you've accumulated over the years. It's about looking at your life and asking yourself, is this really what I want? Is this the direction I want to be heading in? If you find that your life is filled with obligations, duties, and pursuits that don't truly resonate with you, it's time to make some changes. Breaking free from the expectations of others also means understanding your own worth. Many of us tie our self-esteem to external approval, thinking that our value comes from the validation of others. We seek praise, recognition, and affirmation from the people around us because we've been conditioned to believe that their approval is what makes us worthy. But the truth is, your worth is inherent. It's not based on what others think of you, and it's not contingent on meeting anyone else's standards. You are valuable simply because you exist. When you start to understand this, you begin to see that you don't need permission to live your life the way you want to. You don't need to seek approval from others before you take action. The only approval you need is your own. This shift in mindset will empower you to take bold steps toward living authentically, knowing that you don't need anyone else's validation to be true to yourself. In order to live authentically, you also have to be willing to face your fears head on. The fear of change, the fear of the unknown, and the fear of stepping into new territory are all part of the process. Change is uncomfortable, and living authentically often means stepping away from things you've known. Whether it's a job, a relationship, or a lifestyle, these things may no longer serve you, but the thought of letting them go can be terrifying. However, if you want to live a life that is truly yours, you must be willing to make the tough choices and move toward what truly feels right for you, even when it feels scary. Living authentically also means letting go of the need to please everyone around you. People pleasers often find themselves lost in a sea of others' expectations, constantly saying yes to others at the expense of their own needs. If you find yourself in this situation, it's time to set boundaries and honor your own desires. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you responsible for your own well-being. By setting boundaries, you allow yourself to create space for the things that truly matter to you. Whether it's pursuing a passion, focusing on personal growth, or simply taking time to recharge. When you start to live authentically, you begin to attract the right people into your life. As you shed the expectations of others, you create room for relationships that are based on mutual respect, understanding, and authenticity. The people who truly align with who you are will be drawn to you, and those who are only interested in the version of you that fits their expectations will fade away. This is an important part of living authentically, embracing the people who see and appreciate you for who you truly are, not the person you've pretended to be. Another key element of living authentically is embracing your uniqueness. We are all different, and that's what makes us beautiful. However, society often pressures us to conform, to fit into predefined roles, and to follow trends that may not align with our true selves. When you break free from the expectations of others, you embrace your individuality and celebrate what makes you different. You stop comparing yourself to others and begin to see the value in being your true, unique self. Embracing your uniqueness gives you the freedom to express yourself in ways that feel right to you, without worrying about how others perceive you. Living authentically is not about being perfect. It's about being real, being honest with yourself, and embracing who you are at the deepest level. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of society's expectations and creating a life that reflects your true desires, values, and beliefs. The more you align with your authentic self, the more you'll feel a deep sense of peace, joy, and fulfillment in every area of your life. So make the choice today to break free from the expectations of others. Let go of the need to fit into someone else's mold. Live for yourself and embrace your authenticity. The world needs more people who are willing to be themselves, to live boldly, and to share their unique gifts with the world. When you live authentically, you not only transform your own life, but you also inspire others to do the same. You are enough, just as you are, and the world is waiting for the real you. Step into that truth and watch your life unfold in ways you never thought possible. Number 7, focus on becoming the person you've always dreamed of. Every single one of us has a vision of who we want to be. We all have dreams, goals, and aspirations that we hold dear in our hearts. We think about that ideal version of ourselves, the person we've always dreamed of becoming. It's a powerful thought, isn't it? To think that somewhere inside you there's this person who has the potential to be more, do more, and live more than you ever imagined. But the reality is, that dream version of yourself is not just going to appear by itself. You have to make the conscious choice to become that person. It's a journey, and it starts with a single decision to focus on becoming the person you've always dreamed of. We spend so much of our lives thinking about what we want to have, what we want to achieve, and what we want to experience. But rarely do we spend enough time thinking about the person we need to become to make those things a reality. Success isn't just about achieving goals. It's about transforming into the person who is capable of achieving those goals. The first step to getting what you want out of life is to become the person who deserves it, and that requires focus. It requires a mindset shift, a commitment to personal growth, and the discipline to show up each day as the person you need to be to reach your dreams. But here's the thing, becoming the person you've always dreamed of isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's not about waiting for everything to align perfectly before you take action. It's about taking consistent, intentional steps toward that person every single day. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about making choices that align with your vision, even when the path is unclear and the obstacles seem insurmountable. If you want to become the person you've always dreamed of, you must focus on the process of growth, not just the outcome. Think about it. What kind of person do you need to be to achieve your goals? What kind of habits, behaviors, and mindsets would that person possess? When you focus on becoming that person, everything in your life will begin to shift. You'll start making decisions based on the person you want to be, not the person you currently are. Your actions will align with your goals. You'll make better choices in your relationships, your career, your health, and your finances. When you start focusing on who you want to become, your life will start to follow suit. Becoming the person you've always dreamed of requires clarity. You have to know exactly who you want to become and what that person looks like. It's not enough to just say, I want to be successful, or I want to be healthy, or I want to be happy. You have to define what success, health, and happiness mean to you. What does the dream version of yourself look like? What habits does that person have? What qualities do they embody? How do they show up in the world? The clearer you can get on who you want to become, the easier it will be to start embodying that person today. Success doesn't happen overnight. Becoming the person you've always dreamed of is a journey, not a destination. It's about consistently improving yourself, refining your skills, and becoming more disciplined every day. It's about taking responsibility for your actions, your mindset, and your habits. Every single day, you have the opportunity to take one step closer to the person you want to become. And each of those steps, no matter how small, will lead to monumental changes over time. It's the power of compound growth. But here's where many people go wrong. They focus too much on the results. They want the outcome without putting in the work. They want the success, but they don't want to change who they are in order to get it. They want to achieve their goals without having to transform into someone who is capable of achieving those goals. That's not how it works. If you want to become the person you've always dreamed of, you have to focus on the process of becoming. You have to embrace the discomfort of growth, the challenges of change, and the hard work that comes with transformation. Only then will the results follow. The reason most people don't become the person they've always dreamed of is because they give up too soon. They don't stay committed to the process long enough to see the transformation. They encounter obstacles, face setbacks, or hit moments of doubt, and they decide it's too hard. But what they don't realize is that those moments of discomfort and difficulty are the very moments where the most growth happens. It's in those moments that you learn, you adapt, and you evolve. If you want to become the person you've always dreamed of, you can't quit when it gets hard. You have to push through the challenges, knowing that each step forward is a step closer to the person you want to be. This journey is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up each day and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. The person you want to become doesn't give up when things get tough. They push through. They don't settle for mediocrity. They strive for excellence. They don't let fear hold them back. They take bold, calculated risks. When you focus on becoming that person, you begin to think, act, and speak like the person who has already achieved their dreams. You stop making excuses and start taking ownership of your life. Along the way, you'll face setbacks. You'll make mistakes. You'll fail, and that's okay. Failure is a natural part of the journey. It's not something to be afraid of, it's something to learn from. Every failure brings you one step closer to success, as long as you take the lessons from it and keep moving forward. The person you want to become knows that failure is just a part of the process, not the end of the road. They see it as an opportunity to grow, not as a reason to quit. They get back up, dust themselves off, and keep going. Becoming the person you've always dreamed of also requires a strong sense of self-discipline. It's easy to get distracted by life's demands, by the opinions of others, or by the comfort of staying where you are. But if you want to grow, you have to make the hard choices. You have to resist the temptation to take shortcuts, to procrastinate, or to make excuses. You have to stay focused on your goals, even when things get difficult. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. Without it, you'll never reach the person you want to become. To stay focused on becoming the person you've always dreamed of, it's important to surround yourself with people who support your vision. The people you spend the most time with have a huge impact on your mindset and your behavior. If you're surrounded by people who are negative, who don't believe in your dreams, or who don't support your growth, it will be much harder to stay focused on your goals. But when you surround yourself with positive, supportive people who inspire you to be better, you'll be more motivated to stay on track. You'll have people to cheer you on when you're feeling down and to hold you accountable when you're slipping. Becoming the person you've always dreamed of is also about taking care of your mind and body. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you want to be your best, you need to prioritize your health, both mentally and physically. Take time each day to feed your mind with positive, empowering thoughts. Meditate, read, or engage in activities that help you grow mentally. And don't forget your physical health. Exercise, eat well, and take care of your body so that you have the energy and vitality to pursue your dreams. It's also important to stay patient during this journey. Becoming the person you've always dreamed of takes time. There's no shortcut, there's no quick fix. But if you stay committed to the process, stay disciplined, and keep moving forward, you will get there. Every day is an opportunity to take one step closer to your dream. The key is to stay focused on who you're becoming, not just on what you're achieving. When you focus on becoming the person you've always dreamed of, the results will follow naturally. Remember, the person you've always dreamed of becoming is already inside you. You just have to unlock that potential by focusing on your growth, your mindset, and your actions. Keep working on yourself, stay committed to your vision, and never lose sight of who you are becoming. The dream you have is not out of reach, it's within you. And with every step you take, you're moving closer to making that dream a reality. Number 8, challenge your limits daily and watch yourself evolve. To grow, you have to challenge your limits. The reality is, we all have an internal boundary, a limit we believe we cannot surpass. We all have those places in life where we feel like we can't go any further, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or even financial. It's that part of us that says, this is enough. I can't do anymore. I've reached the edge. But let me tell you something, your limits are not set in stone. They're not permanent. They're not real. They're only as real as you believe them to be. The truth is, you can push past them, you can break through them, and you can evolve into a version of yourself that you never thought possible. The most powerful people in this world, the most successful individuals you look up to, they didn't get there by staying comfortable. They didn't reach their highest potential by letting their limits define them. They pushed themselves. They challenged themselves every single day, even when it was uncomfortable, even when it was difficult, and even when they felt like they couldn't do any more. They made it their mission to grow and evolve beyond what they thought was possible. If you want to become someone who achieves extraordinary things, you have to stop playing small. You have to stop letting those self-imposed boundaries hold you back. You have to challenge your limits daily. And that doesn't mean just taking giant leaps. It means small steps every single day. It's about doing things that make you uncomfortable, taking risks that stretch you, and committing to daily growth. This is the foundation of personal evolution. Growth doesn't happen when you play it safe. It happens when you step out of your comfort zone, when you do the things that scare you, when you take on tasks that seem impossible. Think about it for a second. When was the last time you did something that truly challenged you? When was the last time you stepped outside your comfort zone, pushed yourself beyond your current abilities, and took on something that made you feel like you were reaching? For most people, it's been a while. We get comfortable in our routines. We stay in the same place because it feels safe. But the truth is, nothing extraordinary ever happens in a place of safety. If you want to grow, if you want to evolve, you have to challenge your limits every day. It's easy to be content with where we are. It's easy to get comfortable with the status quo. But complacency is the enemy of progress. When you're too comfortable, you stop improving. You stop learning. You stop growing. And this is why it's so crucial to challenge yourself. You have to consciously choose to step into discomfort every day. You have to choose to push past your limits. It's not about being reckless or doing things just for the sake of doing them. It's about intentionally seeking opportunities to stretch yourself, to go beyond what you think is possible, to do things you thought you couldn't do. What happens when you challenge your limits? What happens when you keep pushing yourself to do more, be more, achieve more? You begin to evolve. You begin to change. And that change is what sets you apart. As you challenge your limits daily, you start to uncover new strengths, new abilities, and new skills that you never knew you had. You start to see yourself in a different light. You begin to believe in your potential because you've proven to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. You're capable of growing into someone you never thought possible. But it's not always easy. In fact, it's often incredibly difficult. It's hard to push yourself beyond your comfort zone. It's hard to try new things, to fail, to stumble, and to get back up again. But it's also in those moments of struggle that you learn the most about yourself. It's in those moments of discomfort that you make the greatest breakthroughs. The challenges, the failures, the setbacks, they're all part of the journey. Without them, you wouldn't have the opportunity to grow. Without them, you wouldn't have the opportunity to evolve into the person you are meant to be. Here's what I want you to understand. If you want to experience the next level of success, you have to challenge your limits. You have to go to the edge of what you think you can do, and then push beyond it. It's easy to settle into what's comfortable. It's easy to stay in the place you've always been. But if you want something different, if you want something greater, you have to be willing to challenge yourself. You have to be willing to push past those limits and evolve into the person who is capable of achieving the success you desire. Every time you push yourself, you build confidence, you build strength, you build resilience. You begin to see that you're capable of so much more than you thought. And as you continue to challenge yourself, you become the person you need to be to achieve your dreams. You evolve into someone who isn't afraid of challenges, who isn't afraid of discomfort, who isn't afraid of failure. You become someone who takes action, who keeps going, and who refuses to settle for anything less than their full potential. You'll also start to notice that the world around you begins to change. When you challenge yourself, you change your perspective. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You begin to take risks that others are too afraid to take. You become someone who is constantly moving forward, constantly growing, constantly evolving. And that momentum, that constant forward motion, is what leads to extraordinary results. But there's a catch. You can't just challenge your limits once and expect everything to change. It has to be a daily commitment. It has to be something you do consistently. Every single day you have to ask yourself, how can I push myself today? What can I do today that will take me out of my comfort zone? And then you have to do it. It doesn't have to be a huge thing every day. It doesn't have to be a monumental shift. But every single day you need to do something that challenges your limits. Something that pushes you closer to the person you want to become. It's also important to understand that challenging your limits doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean that you won't make mistakes, that you won't fail, or that you won't encounter obstacles along the way. That's all part of the process. Failure isn't the end. It's just a stepping stone to success. The more you challenge yourself, the more you'll fail. And the more you fail, the more you'll learn. The more you'll learn, the more you'll grow. It's all part of the process. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is an opportunity to get better. And every time you challenge your limits, you get closer to the person you're meant to become. So here's what I want you to do. Every single day, challenge yourself. Look for ways to push beyond what you think you can do. Do something that stretches you, that makes you uncomfortable, that forces you to grow. Do it consistently. Do it every day. And watch yourself evolve. Watch yourself grow into the person you've always wanted to be. Challenge your limits daily, and you'll find that the person you've always dreamed of becoming is not as far out of reach as you once thought. The more you challenge yourself, the more you'll see that you have the ability to do things you never thought possible. And in that process, you'll become someone who is unstoppable, someone who is always growing, always evolving, and always reaching for the next level. So push yourself, challenge your limits, and watch yourself evolve into the person you've always dreamed of becoming. Number 9, make decisions that align with the person you want to become. Every single day, we make decisions. Some are small, like what we eat for breakfast, and others are life-changing, like whether or not we take that new job or move to a new city. But what you might not realize is that each of these decisions, no matter how big or small, is shaping the person you become. The choices you make today determine the path you'll walk tomorrow. If you're not careful, those choices can pull you away from the person you want to be, rather than moving you closer to it. When you decide to act or speak or think, you're essentially choosing which version of yourself you're going to bring into the world. Are you deciding in alignment with the person you want to become, or are you making choices that keep you stuck in the past version of yourself? There's an enormous power in your decisions, and this power can either be working for you or against you. The difference comes down to whether you're making decisions that align with your vision of who you want to be, or whether you're making decisions out of habit or fear. Making decisions that align with the person you want to become doesn't mean you're perfect, or that you're always going to make the right choices. You'll still make mistakes. You'll still stumble. But the key is to understand that every decision you make is an opportunity to either take a step toward your dream life or away from it. And the more often you make the right decisions, the closer you get to becoming the person you've always dreamed of. It's easy to get caught up in the short-term gratification. We live in a world that tells us to follow our impulses, that it's okay to give in to what feels good in the moment. But the truth is, the person you want to become is not a result of instant gratification. It's a result of delayed gratification, of making decisions that may not feel good in the moment, but will serve you in the long term. When you align your choices with the person you want to become, you're saying no to the temptation of the moment, and yes to the future you're building. Let's think about this for a second. Think about the person you want to be. Visualize them in your mind. What does that person look like? How do they carry themselves? What decisions are they making on a daily basis? What habits do they have? What choices do they make that bring them closer to their goals and their vision for their life? If you want to become that person, you have to start making decisions that mirror the life they would live. For instance, if the person you want to become is healthy and fit, you need to start making choices that reflect that. You can't keep choosing to eat unhealthy foods or skip workouts, because that's not who the person you want to be would be. They would choose to nourish their body and make time for exercise. If the person you want to become is successful and driven, then you have to start making decisions that reflect that ambition. Instead of watching TV for hours every day, maybe you spend that time learning something new or working on a project that will move you closer to your goal. If you want to be someone who is kind and loving, you make decisions that reflect those values by showing up for others, being compassionate, and offering help when it's needed. Making decisions that align with the person you want to become requires discipline. It's about choosing the long-term benefits over the short-term pleasures. It's about thinking ahead, about asking yourself, is this decision taking me closer to my goals? Is this helping me grow into the person I want to be? It's so easy to make decisions based on what feels good right now, but when you make decisions based on your future self, you're investing in a version of you that is stronger, smarter, healthier, wealthier, and more successful. This is where the power of discipline comes into play. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. It's about understanding that your decisions have consequences and that every choice you make is an investment in your future. It's about choosing what's right over what's easy and making decisions with your long-term success in mind. Discipline is the ability to take consistent action even when it's difficult, and to choose the actions that bring you closer to your goals, even when the alternative feels more comfortable. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is to start asking, does this decision align with the person I want to become? It's a question that forces you to step back and evaluate whether your current choices are moving you closer or further away from the person you aspire to be. Every time you make a choice, whether it's in your career, your relationships, your health, or your personal growth, ask yourself this question. And when you do, you'll begin to see where your decisions are leading you, and you'll be able to make corrections along the way. We all have that vision of who we want to be. The person who is confident, healthy, successful, loving, and kind. The person who is financially free, emotionally strong, and spiritually fulfilled. But the truth is, that person isn't going to just show up one day. They're not going to appear out of nowhere. That person is built through the decisions you make today. It's built by saying no to the things that hold you back and yes to the things that push you forward. It's built by choosing to act in alignment with your vision every single day. The journey of becoming the person you want to be isn't easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. But with each decision you make, you get closer to that person. Every time you make a choice that aligns with your goals, you're sending a powerful message to yourself. You are worth it. You are worth the time, effort, and commitment it takes to become the best version of yourself. And the more you make decisions that reflect that, the more you will see your life transform in ways you never imagined possible. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment. It's time to stop letting fear, doubt, and uncertainty control your decisions. It's time to start making decisions that align with the person you want to become. Don't wait for the world to change before you take action. You are the one who has the power to change your life. And the best part is, it all starts with the decisions you make. Choose wisely. Choose in alignment with your goals. Choose with your future self in mind. And watch as you transform into the person you've always dreamed of becoming. Every decision, every choice you make is a brick in the foundation of your future. Start making them count. Number 10, push through fear and doubt to discover your true strength. Fear and doubt are two of the most powerful forces that hold us back from reaching our full potential. They show up when we step out of our comfort zones, when we pursue something new, or when we challenge ourselves to go further than we've ever gone before. But what if I told you that fear and doubt are not the enemies you think they are? What if I told you that they are actually the keys to discovering your true strength? When we face fear and doubt, it's easy to think that we are weak, that we are not capable, or that we don't have what it takes to succeed. But this is simply not true. Fear and doubt are natural responses to stepping outside of what is familiar. They are the body's way of signaling that we are on the verge of something new, something bigger than ourselves. And rather than running from them, we need to learn how to push through them and discover the strength that lies within us. Think about the last time you faced fear or doubt. Maybe you were about to take a big risk, or maybe you were stepping into a new challenge. What did you feel? Maybe you felt anxious, nervous, or overwhelmed. That's because fear has a way of magnifying our insecurities, making us believe that we aren't capable of handling whatever comes next. But here's the truth. You've survived every moment of fear you've ever faced. You've already proven to yourself that you are strong enough to endure and push through. Fear doesn't make you weak. It reveals the strength you didn't know you had. Fear and doubt are part of the process of growth. They are not signs that we are on the wrong path, but rather signals that we are moving in the right direction. Every time you push through fear and doubt, you come out stronger on the other side. Every time you face the discomfort and uncertainty, you uncover a piece of your inner strength that you didn't know existed. It's in those moments when you feel like giving up that you discover just how resilient you are. There's a saying that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. Courage isn't about not feeling afraid. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's about recognizing that fear is a part of the process, not a reason to stop. When you push through fear, you are not only growing in that moment, but you are also building a foundation of strength that will carry you through all the challenges that lie ahead. Imagine the version of yourself that you want to become. What would that person do when faced with fear and doubt? Would they shrink back and let fear control them? Or would they stand tall and face it head on? The person you want to be is already inside you. They are the version of you who has the strength to rise above fear, who understands that doubt is just part of the journey. That person doesn't wait for the fear to go away before taking action. They take action anyway, knowing that it's through action that fear loses its power. The key to pushing through fear and doubt is to shift your mindset. Instead of seeing fear as something that holds you back, begin to view it as a sign that you are about to make progress. When fear shows up, it's often because you're pushing yourself beyond your current limits. And that's exactly what you need to do in order to grow. Fear is a reminder that you're moving out of your comfort zone and into new territory where real growth happens. It's also important to understand that doubt is not a reflection of your abilities, but rather a reflection of your current mindset. When you doubt yourself, it's because you are focusing on what you don't know or what you haven't yet accomplished. But that's not the whole story. Just because you haven't yet reached your goal doesn't mean you can't get there. Just because you're not yet the person you want to be doesn't mean you won't become them. Doubt only has power over you if you allow it to. If you decide to push forward despite the doubt, you will begin to see how capable you truly are. The most successful people are not those who are never afraid or who never doubt themselves. The most successful people are those who push through fear and doubt and keep moving forward anyway. They don't let fear control their decisions. They let their vision and their commitment to growth drive them. They know that fear and doubt are temporary, but the strength they build by overcoming them is lasting. Every time you push through, you strengthen your belief in yourself and your ability to handle whatever comes your way. When you're in the thick of fear and doubt, it's easy to forget how far you've come. You may start to think that you're not cut out for this, that you don't have the skills, the knowledge, or the resources to succeed. But think about all the things you've already overcome. Think about the times when you pushed through and came out stronger on the other side. You've faced obstacles before and survived them. You've faced challenges before and learned from them. You've faced fear before and still moved forward. You are capable of more than you realize. One of the most powerful ways to push through fear and doubt is to take small, consistent actions. Fear often grows when we overthink things or when we try to take on too much at once. But when we break things down into smaller, manageable steps, we can start to build momentum and push through the fear one step at a time. Each small action you take is like chipping away at the wall of doubt that stands between you and your goals. The more you chip away, the less power fear and doubt will have over you. Remember, pushing through fear doesn't mean you won't feel it. It just means that you're choosing to take action in spite of it. It means that you're trusting yourself and your ability to handle whatever comes next. The more you do this, the more you'll realize that fear and doubt don't have to control your life. You can choose to rise above them and take charge of your destiny. The truth is, you are stronger than you think. You are capable of handling more than you give yourself credit for. Fear and doubt are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are growing. They are signs that you are pushing yourself to become the person you are meant to be. And when you choose to push through them, you will discover a strength within yourself that will carry you through any challenge life throws your way. So the next time fear and doubt show up, don't run from them. Don't hide. Don't let them keep you from moving forward. Instead, stand tall, take a deep breath, and move through them. Embrace the discomfort, because that's where the growth happens. And as you push through, you will discover the true strength that lies within you. The strength to face anything, to overcome any obstacle, and to become the person you've always known you were meant to be. Number 11, set goals that scare you and ignite your passion. Setting goals is one of the most important actions you can take to move your life forward. But not just any goals, goals that scare you, that stretch you beyond your current limits, that ignite a fire in your belly, goals that make you feel both excited and terrified at the same time. Why? Because these are the goals that will push you to grow, to become better, to discover what you're truly capable of. You see, the biggest obstacle most people face when it comes to goal setting is not a lack of ambition or effort, but a fear of failure or a comfort with the status quo. It's easy to set small, achievable goals. These are the ones that don't push us too hard. They're the ones that don't require us to step outside our comfort zones or face our deepest fears. But here's the reality. If you want to become someone nobody recognizes, you have to set goals that scare you. You need to set goals that make your heart race with excitement and your stomach churn with fear. You need to set goals that are so big, so audacious, that they force you to tap into all the strength and potential you never knew you had. We often settle for smaller, safer goals because we fear disappointment, rejection, or failure. But let me tell you this, the fear of failure is far worse than failure itself. When we avoid big goals out of fear, we are settling for a life of mediocrity. We are accepting the status quo, and we are preventing ourselves from reaching our highest potential. The truth is, the only way to reach your full potential is by setting goals that push you to grow. You don't grow by staying where you are. You grow by challenging yourself. You grow by setting goals that scare you, that force you to confront your weaknesses, and that make you feel alive. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you should set random, reckless goals without a plan. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about goals that stretch you beyond what you believe is possible for yourself. I'm talking about goals that make you think, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I know I have to try. These are the goals that ignite your passion. They're the goals that make you want to get out of bed in the morning and give everything you have. When you set goals like this, you tap into a power inside you that you didn't even know was there. You access an energy and a drive that will carry you through the toughest times. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly excited about something? Not just a little excited, but the kind of excitement that makes you feel like you're on fire. The kind of excitement that makes you feel like you're on the verge of something big, something incredible. That excitement comes from setting goals that challenge you, that make you stretch, that make you rise to the occasion. When you set these types of goals, you're no longer living a life of complacency or routine. You're living a life of purpose. You're living a life that is driven by a vision, a mission, and a deep desire to achieve something extraordinary. When you set goals that scare you, you begin to realize just how much you're capable of. These goals force you to tap into parts of yourself that you might have forgotten about or never knew existed. They push you to become someone who is unrecognizable to your past self. The person you were yesterday won't be able to accomplish the goals you're setting for tomorrow. But the person you are becoming, the person who is willing to take risks, to face fears, to work through challenges, will achieve those goals and more. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone, to play it safe, and to stick with what you know. But comfort does not lead to growth. Comfort does not lead to greatness. Comfort keeps you stuck, and the longer you stay comfortable, the more you'll find yourself stagnant. The key to breaking free from the chains of complacency is to set goals that scare you. These goals will stretch you. They will force you to take action when you don't feel ready. They will make you face your fears head on and prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. But here's the catch. You have to be willing to take action. Setting a goal that scares you is only the first step. The real work begins when you commit to taking consistent, purposeful action toward that goal every single day. Action is what turns dreams into reality. It's what takes you from being someone who wishes for success to someone who actively pursues it. When you set a goal that excites you and terrifies you at the same time, you need to commit to doing whatever it takes to make that goal a reality. You need to take action even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, and even when you feel like giving up. So how do you set goals that scare you? The first thing you need to do is get clear on what you really want. Not what society expects from you. Not what your family or friends think you should do, but what you truly desire deep down in your soul. What is the life you want to live? What are the big, bold, audacious dreams that excite you? These are the goals you need to pursue. The next step is to make those goals specific and measurable. Vague goals are easy to avoid, but specific goals give you something concrete to work toward. When you know exactly what you're aiming for, you can break it down into smaller, actionable steps. This makes the goal feel less overwhelming and more achievable. But don't make the mistake of thinking that because you've broken the goal down, it won't scare you anymore. If the goal isn't still giving you butterflies, you haven't aimed high enough. Keep pushing yourself to think bigger. Then take massive action. Once you've identified your big, scary goal, it's time to go after it with everything you've got. Don't wait for the right moment or for everything to be perfect. Just start. The only way to achieve something incredible is to begin, even if you don't know exactly how you're going to get there. Each step you take, no matter how small, will bring you closer to your goal. And with every step, you'll build momentum, confidence, and belief in yourself. Along the way, you'll face setbacks. You'll encounter challenges, obstacles, and moments of doubt. that's a given. But when you've set a goal that scares you, you've already prepared yourself to face adversity head on. You've already accepted that the journey will be tough, and you're ready to keep moving forward no matter what. When you hit those bumps in the road, remember why you set the goal in the first place. Remember the passion and excitement that came with the dream. Let that passion fuel you to keep going. And when you finally achieve that goal, when you look back and see how far you've come, you'll realize that the fear you felt in the beginning was just a small part of the journey. It was the fire that ignited your passion, the challenge that pushed you to grow, and the catalyst that transformed you into the person who could achieve the impossible. You will be unrecognizable from the person you were before, and you'll know that the goal you set was worth every ounce of effort, every moment of doubt, and every ounce of fear you had to overcome. So set goals that scare you. Set goals that challenge you, that push you, that make you grow. And as you pursue those goals, remember this: you are capable of far more than you realize. The bigger the goal, the bigger the person you will become. When you push yourself to achieve what seems impossible, you will discover just how strong, determined, and capable you truly are. Number 12. Do the hard work others aren't willing to do. Success is not about being the smartest, the most talented, or the most fortunate. It's about who is willing to put in the hard work when others aren't. The truth is, success is built on the foundation of work, the work that most people are simply unwilling to do. This is where you have the opportunity to stand out, to become the person others look at and wonder how they got to where they are. If you want to get ahead, if you want to be successful, if you want to achieve things that others only dream of, you have to do the hard work, the work that others aren't willing to do. It's easy to look at successful people and think they have it easy. We admire their accomplishments and wish we could be in their shoes. But what most people don't see is the work that goes on behind the scenes. They don't see the long nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, and the relentless pursuit of greatness that those people have committed to. They don't see the moments when everyone else has given up, when everyone else has stopped pushing, but the successful person keeps going. They keep putting in the hard work because they know that it's the only way to get ahead. Most people want the results without the work. They want the rewards without the effort. They want the outcome, but they aren't willing to go through the grind that it takes to get there. But the people who get ahead in life are the ones who understand that success is earned, not given. It's earned through hard work, determination, and a willingness to do what others won't. If you want to be successful, you have to be willing to put in the work when others aren't. The key to success is simple. Do the work that others aren't willing to do. When others are sleeping, you should be working. When others are taking shortcuts, you should be doing things the right way. When others are making excuses, you should be putting in the effort. This is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. The successful understand that every day is an opportunity to get one step closer to their goals. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They make the moment perfect through their work. Doing the hard work isn't always glamorous. It's not always fun. In fact, a lot of the time it's downright uncomfortable. But here's the thing. Success isn't about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's necessary. It's about doing the things that most people avoid because they don't want to face the discomfort or the challenge. But if you can push through that discomfort, if you can keep going when others quit, you'll build the resilience and strength that will lead to long-term success. Think about the people you admire, the people who have achieved incredible things, the people who have made a mark on the world. Do you think they got there by sitting back and waiting for success to fall into their laps? No, they got there by doing the hard work. They got there by being consistent, by showing up every single day, even when they didn't feel like it, even when it was difficult, even when others were quitting. They got there by making the tough decisions, the uncomfortable decisions, and putting in the work that others weren't willing to do. And here's the thing, the hard work doesn't stop when you get the success you desire. The journey doesn't end once you reach the top. If you want to stay there, if you want to maintain your success, you have to keep doing the hard work. The moment you stop working, the moment you think you've arrived, is the moment you start to fall behind. Success is a continual process. It's about consistently doing what others won't do. It's about showing up every single day, putting in the work, and never getting complacent. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that success is something that happens overnight. They think that they can take shortcuts or that they can somehow bypass the hard work. But this mindset will only lead to disappointment. There are no shortcuts to success. There is no magic formula. There is only hard work, persistence, and a willingness to keep pushing forward, even when things get tough. The more you put in, the more you'll get out. The effort you invest today will pay off tomorrow, but only if you're willing to put in the work consistently. You have to ask yourself, what are you willing to do that others aren't? What are you willing to sacrifice that others won't? Are you willing to wake up earlier than everyone else? Stay later, work on weekends, put in the time to learn something new, to develop a new skill, to push yourself out of your comfort zone. If you want to succeed, you have to be willing to make these sacrifices. You have to be willing to do what others aren't. That's the difference between success and mediocrity. Mediocrity comes from doing the bare minimum, from going through the motions, from taking the easy road. But success is born out of doing the hard work, the work that most people avoid. The hardest part about doing the work is that it often feels like you're doing it alone. When you're grinding away, when you're putting in the effort, when you're working harder than anyone else, it's easy to feel like you're the only one doing it. It's easy to feel like everyone else is out there enjoying their lives, while you're stuck in the grind. But let me tell you this, the work you're doing now is what will separate you from the rest. The sacrifices you're making today are the reason you'll be successful tomorrow. The longer you put in the effort, the more you'll stand out. You're not just doing the work for the sake of doing it. You're doing it to build something bigger than yourself. You're doing it to build a future that others can only dream of. So ask yourself, are you willing to put in the hard work? Are you willing to do what others won't? Because that's what it takes. The people who achieve greatness aren't the ones who take the easy road. They're the ones who are willing to put in the work when it's uncomfortable, when it's difficult, and when it feels like no one is watching. They understand that success isn't handed to you. It's earned, and it's earned through hard work, day in and day out. Success doesn't come to the person who takes shortcuts or avoids the work. It comes to the person who is willing to do what others aren't, who is willing to put in the time, the effort, and the sacrifice. If you want to be successful, you have to commit to doing the hard work. And once you do, you'll see the results. You'll look back and realize that every moment of effort, every ounce of energy, and every sacrifice was worth it. Because success isn't about being the smartest or the most talented. It's about being the one who works the hardest and never gives up. So do the work, do the hard work others aren't willing to do, and watch yourself rise to the top. Number 13, create a life that forces others to take notice. Creating a life that forces others to take notice is not about seeking attention or approval. It's about living in such a way that your actions, your decisions, and your growth leave an undeniable impact on the people around you. Most people spend their lives trying to fit in, trying to blend in with the crowd. They go through life on autopilot, doing what's expected, following the rules, and staying inside the lines. But if you want to truly make a difference, if you want to live a life that forces people to stop and take notice, you must be willing to break free from that mold and do things differently. It's about living authentically, doing the work, and committing to becoming the best version of yourself. When you show up every day with purpose and determination, when you push yourself to grow, when you challenge yourself to be better every single day, people will start to take notice. They'll see the dedication in your eyes, the passion in your actions, and the results of your hard work. People are drawn to others who are authentic, who are consistent, and who are relentlessly working to improve their lives and the lives of those around them. This isn't about trying to impress others with flashy gestures or seeking validation from the outside world. It's about living in a way that reflects your values, your vision, and your commitment to your own personal growth. People notice that. They notice the person who doesn't make excuses, who doesn't blame others for their circumstances, and who takes responsibility for their actions. They notice the person who has a clear vision for their life and is willing to do the hard work necessary to make that vision a reality. That's the person who inspires others. That's the person who makes waves. That's the person who forces others to take notice. Living a life that makes an impact requires more than just surface-level changes. It's not about simply dressing better, speaking louder, or posting on social media to get attention. It's about a deep internal transformation. It's about deciding once and for all that you will no longer settle for mediocrity. You will no longer blend in. You will no longer let fear, doubt, or the opinions of others hold you back. You will take control of your life, your future, and your destiny. And as you do, people will notice. They'll notice your confidence, your self-respect, and your refusal to settle for anything less than your best. People take notice when they see someone who is willing to walk the hard path. They notice when you get up every day, rain or shine, and keep moving forward despite the obstacles. They notice when you make sacrifices to achieve your goals, when you put in the work when others are resting, when you take risks when others are playing it safe. The world notices people who are unapologetically themselves, who are committed to their own personal growth, and who refuse to be anything but their authentic selves. And as you continue to grow and evolve, you'll find that people start to look to you for guidance, for inspiration, and for proof that it's possible to create a life that truly stands out. The key to creating a life that forces others to take notice is living with intention. When you wake up every day with a clear sense of purpose, when you know exactly what you're working toward, and when you commit yourself to the daily grind, people can't help but take notice. You become a force of nature. You become someone who inspires others to take action, someone who leads by example, someone who shows others that it's possible to live a life of meaning and purpose. When you start living intentionally, your life begins to have a ripple effect. The energy you put into the world will come back to you in ways you can't even predict. But let's be clear, this isn't easy. It's not always fun. It's not always comfortable. There will be days when you feel like giving up, days when you question whether it's all worth it. But it's precisely during those moments, when you feel like quitting, that you have the greatest opportunity to show what you're made of. It's during those moments that you have the chance to push through and keep going, to keep striving, and to keep building the life that will force others to take notice. When you face obstacles, setbacks, and challenges, it's easy to think that your dreams are out of reach, that your goals are impossible, and that the road ahead is too hard. But it's in those moments that you need to remind yourself that growth doesn't come from comfort. The most extraordinary people are the ones who refuse to back down, even when the odds are against them. They're the ones who don't make excuses when things get tough, who don't quit when they hit a wall, but instead they find a way to push through and keep moving forward. So what does it take to create a life that forces others to take notice? It takes self-discipline, persistence, and an unwavering commitment to your personal growth. It means showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, and even when it seems like no one is paying attention. It means investing in yourself, learning new skills, developing new habits, and pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. It means being relentless in your pursuit of your goals and not letting anyone or anything stand in your way. And above all, it means living your life authentically. People can spot a fake from a mile away. They can tell when you're trying to impress them or when you're putting on a show. But when you live authentically, when you live according to your values, your principles, and your true self, people can't help but be drawn to you. They can't help but take notice. It's that authenticity, that raw, unfiltered version of yourself that has the power to inspire, to motivate, and to lead others. When you stop pretending to be someone else, when you stop trying to conform to other people's expectations, you free yourself to become the person you were always meant to be. In the end, creating a life that forces others to take notice is about more than just impressing people. It's about making a lasting impact on the world, on the people you encounter, and on the legacy you leave behind. It's about showing others what's possible when you commit to living your best life, when you put in the work, when you push through fear, and when you refuse to settle for anything less than your absolute best. As you build a life that's authentic, purposeful, and full of passion, others will take notice, and they'll be inspired to do the same. Number 14, take massive action to turn your dreams into reality. Taking massive action is the key to turning your dreams into reality. It's not just about setting goals and making plans. It's about taking consistent, deliberate, and relentless steps toward what you want to achieve. Too many people sit around dreaming about the future, but never do anything to make it happen. They talk about their big ideas, their hopes, and their visions, but they fail to put in the work. The truth is, dreams don't come true by wishing or hoping. They come true by doing the work, by taking action, and by making things happen. Massive action doesn't mean you need to make giant leaps every day, but it does mean that you're putting in the effort every single day to push yourself toward your goals. It's about going beyond what feels comfortable and stepping into the unknown, doing things you've never done before. It's about taking risks, making mistakes, and learning from them. When you take massive action, you commit yourself fully to your vision, and you stop waiting for things to magically fall into place. You take ownership of your future and understand that success doesn't come to those who sit idle. It comes to those who are willing to put in the hard work, the sweat, and the grit. The first step in taking massive action is to get clear on what you want. You need to know exactly what you're working toward. Too many people wander aimlessly, chasing after things that sound good but aren't aligned with their true desires. To take massive action, you must have a clear vision, a specific goal, and a roadmap that shows you how to get there. Your dreams must be tangible. They must be something you can focus on and take consistent steps toward. Once you have that clarity, the next step is simple: take action. But here's the thing, most people don't take massive action because they're afraid. They're afraid of failure, afraid of making mistakes, and afraid of the unknown. They let fear hold them back from stepping outside their comfort zone and doing what's necessary to make their dreams come true. But fear is a natural part of the process. It's not something you can avoid. It's something you must learn to push through. Every successful person has felt fear. Every successful person has doubted themselves at some point. But what sets them apart from the rest is that they didn't let that fear stop them. They took action anyway. They used fear as fuel to move forward, not as an excuse to quit. Massive action requires a willingness to fail. It requires a willingness to get uncomfortable, to try new things, and to keep going even when things don't go as planned. You have to be willing to learn from your mistakes and keep pushing forward. You have to be okay with not having all the answers, and instead trust that the answers will come as long as you keep taking action. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the closer you get to success. The key is to keep going, to keep trying, and to not let failure define you. Every step you take is a step closer to turning your dreams into reality. When you take massive action, you also set yourself apart from the crowd. Most people are content to sit on the sidelines, watching others succeed while they remain stuck in the same place. But when you take action, you start to stand out. You start to get noticed. People see that you're serious about your goals and that you're willing to put in the work. And when people see you taking massive action, they'll begin to respect you. They'll see the dedication in your eyes, the fire in your belly, and the relentless pursuit of your dreams. You'll become someone who others look up to, someone who inspires them to take action in their own lives. Taking massive action also means showing up every single day. It's not just about big, bold moves. It's about doing the small things consistently that add up over time. It's about doing the work even when no one is watching. It's about taking the necessary steps each day, even when it feels like nothing is happening. But trust me, those small actions will compound. They will build momentum. And before you know it, you'll be closer to your dreams than you ever imagined. The key is persistence. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work. Keep taking action. When you make a commitment to massive action, you're also making a commitment to your own growth. You're deciding that you're willing to do whatever it takes to become the person who can achieve your dreams. Success requires personal growth. It requires you to become the kind of person who can handle the responsibility, the challenges, and the opportunities that come with success. When you take massive action, you force yourself to grow. You learn new skills, develop new habits, and gain the experience needed to make your dreams a reality. Every action you take is a step in your own personal development. Every failure, every success, every obstacle, each of them teaches you something valuable. You become stronger, smarter, and more capable with every step you take. One of the most powerful aspects of taking massive action is that it builds momentum. When you take action, you create energy, and that energy propels you forward. The more you do, the more you want to do. The more you achieve, the more you believe you can achieve. Momentum is a powerful force, and once it's on your side, it's unstoppable. But you have to create that momentum yourself. No one else can do it for you. You have to take the first step, and then keep taking the next step, and the next, until you're moving forward at full speed. And when you reach that point, when momentum is working for you, you'll be amazed at how quickly your dreams start to become reality. It's also important to recognize that taking massive action doesn't mean you need to have everything figured out. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or for everything to line up perfectly. If you wait for perfection, you'll be waiting forever. The most successful people are those who take action despite not having all the answers. They trust that as they move forward, they'll figure things out along the way. They take imperfect action because they know that it's better to do something than to do nothing at all. Taking massive action is also about being consistent. You won't see overnight success, and you shouldn't expect to. Success is a long-term game, and it requires you to stay the course. It's about doing the work day in and day out, even when things don't seem to be going your way. It's about staying committed to your vision, no matter how long it takes. But if you continue to take action, no matter what, the results will come. Success is built on consistent, deliberate effort over time. Finally, taking massive action requires an unwavering belief in yourself and your abilities. You have to trust that you are capable of achieving your dreams. You have to believe that the work you're putting in will pay off. You must be willing to bet on yourself and go all in. When you believe in yourself and take massive action, you open up a world of possibilities. You unlock your true potential and begin to see just how much you're capable of achieving. In the end, taking massive action is what separates dreamers from doers. It's what turns ideas into reality. It's what transforms ambition into success. If you want to make your dreams come true, you have to stop talking about them and start acting. You have to take massive, consistent action every single day, no matter what. And as you do, you'll begin to see your dreams come to life before your very eyes. Number 15, develop discipline and watch your life transform completely. Discipline is the cornerstone of success. Without it, your goals remain distant. Dreams, only ever glimpsed in your imagination, but never realized in reality. The truth is, you can have all the talent, skills, and potential in the world, but if you don't have discipline, none of that matters. Discipline is what holds you accountable, keeps you on track, and propels you forward when the excitement fades and the work gets tough. It's the quiet force that turns small daily actions into massive accomplishments over time. Let's face it, the world is full of distractions. Everywhere you look, there's something trying to pull your attention away from what matters. Whether it's social media, entertainment, or the endless noise of life, it's easy to get sidetracked and lose focus. Discipline, however, allows you to rise above these distractions and stay true to your purpose. It's about making choices that align with your goals, even when the path isn't easy, or when the temptation to quit is strong. Discipline is choosing long-term success over short-term comfort. To develop discipline, you have to start by understanding that it's not something you're born with. It's something you build. Like a muscle, it grows stronger the more you exercise it. It requires conscious effort, patience, and the willingness to make sacrifices. The first step is to establish a vision, a clear understanding of who you want to become and what you want to achieve. If you don't know where you're going, discipline becomes irrelevant because you won't have any direction. Your vision is the North Star that guides your actions and decisions. It's the purpose that fuels your discipline. Once you have your vision in place, the next step is to create habits that support it. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. It's about making actions that support your goals automatic. It's about setting routines that make progress inevitable. For instance, if you want to get in shape, you can't just say, "I'll work out whenever I feel like it." That's not discipline. That's wishful thinking. Instead, you need to create a consistent routine where working out is non-negotiable, whether you feel like it or not. The key is consistency. Over time, these routines become second nature, and discipline no longer feels like a burden. It becomes a part of who you are. One of the hardest things about developing discipline is learning to say no. You will face temptations every day that try to pull you away from your goals. There will be days when you want to skip your workout, or when you'd rather watch TV than work on your business. Discipline is not about eliminating temptation, but about having the strength to say no in those moments when it matters most. It's about understanding that saying no to immediate gratification means saying yes to long-term success. Another crucial element of discipline is focus. The world is full of distractions that try to pull your attention in a million different directions. But discipline means learning to focus on what matters most and saying no to things that don't align with your goals. If you want to achieve anything significant, you must become ruthless with your focus. This means eliminating the unnecessary and concentrating on the actions that will actually move you toward your goal. It's about saying no to the good so that you can say yes to the great. It's also important to understand that discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. You will make mistakes. You will slip up. You will have days when you don't follow through. That's okay. What matters is that you get back up and keep going. Discipline isn't about being flawless. It's about being consistent. It's about building momentum and continuing forward, even when you encounter setbacks. The most successful people are not those who avoid failure, but those who are able to recover quickly and keep going. The key is resilience, developing the strength to push forward, no matter what. When you develop discipline, your life begins to transform in ways you can't even imagine. At first, it might feel difficult. You'll have moments of doubt and frustration, but stick with it. Over time, your habits will begin to shift, and you'll start seeing the results of your efforts. You'll become a person who follows through, who shows up, who does the work, even when no one is watching. You'll stop relying on motivation, because you'll have built a foundation of discipline that carries you through when motivation fades. One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is that it frees you from the need for external validation. When you develop the discipline to work towards your goals every day, you no longer need others to tell you that you're doing a good job. You know that the work you're doing is meaningful, and that's all the validation you need. You stop seeking approval from others, and instead seek progress within yourself. This is a game changer, because it shifts your focus from external circumstances to internal growth. Another way discipline transforms your life is by giving you a sense of control. The more disciplined you become, the more control you have over your life. You no longer let the world dictate your actions. You decide what matters and make it happen. Discipline allows you to take control of your time, your energy, and your future. You stop reacting to life's circumstances and instead start creating the life you want. This sense of control brings with it a deep sense of fulfillment, because you realize that you are the architect of your own life. As you develop discipline, you'll also notice a shift in your mindset. You'll begin to see yourself as someone who is capable of achieving anything. Discipline transforms your self-image, because it shows you that you are someone who follows through, who gets things done, and who takes responsibility for their actions. This shift in mindset is crucial, because it reinforces the belief that you are capable of creating the life you desire. The more disciplined you become, the more you realize that your potential is limitless, and that you have the power to shape your destiny. Discipline also leads to long-term rewards. In a world that thrives on instant gratification, discipline is the antidote. It's about understanding that the most valuable things in life often take time and effort to build. Whether it's mastering a skill, building a business, or becoming physically fit, the process requires patience, persistence, and discipline. The beauty of discipline is that it compounds over time. What may feel like small efforts at first will eventually pay off in ways that are far greater than you can imagine. The results of disciplined action may not be immediate, but they will come, and when they do, they will be life-changing. The transformation that comes from developing discipline is not just external, it's internal as well. You become a person of integrity, someone who honors their commitments and lives by their values. You stop making excuses and start making progress. You develop a strong sense of purpose and a deep sense of pride in the work you do. You become the person you've always wanted to be, and your life reflects that. Discipline doesn't just transform your actions, it transforms your identity. In the end, discipline is the key to everything. It is the foundation of success, the bedrock upon which all achievements are built. When you commit to developing discipline, you commit to becoming the best version of yourself. You commit to creating a life of purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. You commit to doing what's necessary, even when it's hard, because you know that the rewards are worth it. The life you dream of is not out of reach. It's waiting for you to take the steps necessary to make it a reality. And the first step is to develop discipline. From there, everything else falls into place. Number 16. Take bold steps every day towards the life you want. Every single day you are presented with two choices. Stay where you are or take a step forward. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is the willingness to take bold steps, even when fear is present. Growth demands movement. It requires action that pushes you beyond the boundaries of what feels comfortable. You will never create the life you want by standing still, by hesitating, by waiting for the perfect moment. The moment is now. The path is built as you walk it, and the only way to reach the destination you envision is to take deliberate, fearless steps forward every single day. The challenge most people face is that they hesitate, they overthink, analyze, and wait for a guarantee of success before they begin. But life doesn't work that way. Bold action does not come with certainty. It comes with risk. It requires you to move forward despite the unknown. It demands that you trust yourself even when you don't have all the answers. There will never be a perfect time, and you will never feel fully prepared. The only way to build confidence is to act. Every time you take a step forward, you prove to yourself that you are capable. You build momentum. You develop the strength to take another step, and then another, until suddenly, you look back and realize you have transformed your entire reality. Fear is the enemy of progress. It whispers doubts, creates hesitation, and convinces you to stay where you are. But fear is only powerful if you allow it to control your decisions. The reality is that most of what you fear will never happen. The worst-case scenario you imagine is often an illusion designed to keep you in your comfort zone. The way to silence fear is to act in spite of it. Bold action is the antidote to hesitation. The more you act, the less power fear has over you. The people who achieve their biggest goals are not fearless. They are simply willing to take action despite their fears. Excuses will try to hold you back. You will tell yourself you're not ready, that you need more time, that the conditions need to be just right before you begin. These excuses are lies. The only way to become ready is to start. The only way to build the necessary skills, experience, and mindset is to take steps forward before you feel prepared. Bold action means rejecting excuses and doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. You don't wait for motivation. You create it through movement. The first step is always the hardest. But once you take it, everything else begins to fall into place. Every great success story is built on consistent, courageous action. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not different from you. They simply decided that they would take bold steps every single day toward what they wanted. They refused to let fear, doubt, or failure stop them. They kept going when others quit. They took action when others hesitated. And that is what separates those who live their dreams from those who only talk about them. Success is not about luck. It is about the willingness to act again and again until the results begin to appear. The truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to build your dream for you. It is up to you to create the life you want. Every single decision you make either moves you closer to your goals or keeps you stuck where you are. You cannot afford to be passive. You cannot wait for circumstances to change or for someone else to give you permission. Bold action means taking responsibility for your own future. It means deciding that you will do whatever it takes to turn your vision into reality. It means showing up for yourself every single day, regardless of obstacles, setbacks, or challenges. Momentum is built through action. When you take bold steps consistently, you begin to see results. Those results fuel your motivation, and that motivation drives you to take even bigger steps. This is how progress is made. This is how dreams are realized. But if you hesitate, if you wait, if you let fear dictate your choices, you will remain exactly where you are. The people who live their dreams are not the ones who wait for permission. They are the ones who take action even when they don't feel ready. They are the ones who refuse to let doubt stop them. They are the ones who move forward, no matter what. There will be obstacles. There will be challenges. There will be days when everything feels impossible. This is part of the process. Bold action means pushing through these moments instead of retreating. It means refusing to give up when things get difficult. It means staying focused on your vision, even when the road is unclear. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow stronger. Every obstacle you overcome builds your resilience. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the ability to keep going despite difficulties. Bold action is not about never facing setbacks. It's about having the courage to keep moving forward, no matter what. Success requires urgency. Too many people act as if they have unlimited time. They delay, procrastinate, and tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, next year. But the truth is, time is passing whether you take action or not. Every day that goes by is a day you could have used to get closer to your dreams. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes. Bold action means treating every day as an opportunity. It means recognizing that the time to start is now. It means refusing to waste another moment, waiting for the right conditions. The only way to create the future you want is to start building it today. Small actions add up. Every bold step you take brings you closer to your vision. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be huge. What matters is that you are moving forward. The people who achieve great things are not the ones who take occasional giant leaps. They are the ones who take small, consistent steps every single day. Over time, those small steps add up to massive results. This is the power of bold action. It compounds, it builds, it creates unstoppable momentum. You have to be willing to bet on yourself. You have to believe that you are capable of achieving what you desire. No one else is going to do it for you. Bold action requires self-trust. It requires the belief that you have what it takes, even when the evidence isn't there yet. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you build through action. The more you step out of your comfort zone, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable. And the more capable you feel, the more willing you become to take even bolder steps. Taking bold action also means embracing failure as part of the journey. You will make mistakes. You will face setbacks. You will experience moments of doubt, but none of these things define you unless you allow them to. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a necessary part of the process. Every setback is a lesson. Every mistake is an opportunity to improve. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to quit. Bold action means continuing forward, even when things don't go as planned. It means using every challenge as fuel to become even stronger. At the end of the day, the life you want is within your reach, but it requires action. Thinking about it is not enough. Dreaming about it is not enough. Wishing for it is not enough. You must take bold steps every single day, no matter how small, no matter how uncomfortable. Every time you push forward, you are building the future you desire. Every time you refuse to let fear stop you, you are proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Your future is waiting for you. The only question is, will you take the bold steps necessary to claim it? Number 17. Leave behind excuses and take control of your destiny. There comes a moment when you must decide whether you will continue making excuses or take full ownership of your future. That moment defines the trajectory of your life. Every excuse you make is a chain holding you back, keeping you from stepping into your true potential. The truth is, no one is going to hand you success. No one is going to do the work for you. No one is going to force you to rise up and claim the life you truly desire. That is your responsibility. It is your duty to take control of your destiny. Excuses are the easy way out. They provide comfort, justification for inaction, and an escape from discomfort. But they also guarantee stagnation. If you want to change your life, you have to abandon every excuse, every justification, every reason that allows you to stay stuck where you are. Taking control of your destiny means understanding that your current circumstances do not define you. They are only a reflection of past decisions, past habits, past actions. What matters now is what you do going forward. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is action. It is easy to blame circumstances, timing, or other people for why you haven't achieved what you desire. But blaming external factors gives away your power. It places control in the hands of the world instead of in your own hands. If you truly want to take control of your destiny, you must take full responsibility for everything in your life. The good, the bad, the challenges, and the opportunities. Only when you claim full accountability will you gain the power to change it all. There will always be reasons to delay, reasons to quit, reasons to stay in the comfort zone. But those who succeed are those who refuse to listen to those reasons. They push forward even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when doubt tries to creep in. Excuses only serve to protect you from the discomfort of growth. They allow you to stay where you are, convincing you that things are beyond your control. But that is a lie. Every excuse you hold on to is a self-imposed limitation. If you want to be free, you must break those limitations. You must stop waiting for the right time. You must stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. You must stop waiting for permission. You are the only person who can decide to step into the life you were meant to live. Taking control of your destiny is a daily decision. It is not something you do once and forget about. It is something you must commit to every single day. You must wake up and choose to act. You must choose to reject the easy path. You must choose to show up for yourself, even when no one is watching, even when no one is applauding your progress. Discipline is required. Sacrifice is required. Courage is required. But the reward is freedom. The freedom to create your life on your terms. The freedom to shape your future. The freedom to rise above mediocrity and claim something greater. People often say they want success, but their actions tell a different story. They wait for motivation. They wait for circumstances to align. They wait for the fear to disappear. But waiting is just another form of excuse. If you want to change your life, you must take action before you feel ready. The best time to start is always now. The longer you wait, the more difficult it becomes. The more you hesitate, the more power you give to fear, doubt, and procrastination. Taking control of your destiny means understanding that you cannot afford to wait. You cannot afford to waste another day trapped in the cycle of excuses. You must act. You must move forward. You must do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Every decision you make either moves you closer to your dreams or further away from them. There is no in-between. There is no neutral ground. Every moment is an opportunity to choose growth, to choose progress, to choose action. But too many people choose comfort instead. They choose the path of least resistance. They choose to stay the same because growth requires effort. The truth is, nothing worth having comes easy. If you want something extraordinary, you must be willing to do what most people won't. You must be willing to push through discomfort, to embrace challenges, to work harder and smarter than everyone else. When you decide to take control of your destiny, you must also accept that not everyone will understand your choices. Some will doubt you. Some will try to discourage you. Some will project their own fears onto you, telling you that your dreams are too big, your goals too ambitious. But none of that matters. Their opinions do not determine your future. Only your actions do. Those who succeed are those who learn to tune out the noise. They do not seek validation. They do not wait for approval. They move forward with or without support. They understand that their journey is their own, and they refuse to be held back by the limitations of others. Failure will be part of the process. There is no avoiding it. You will make mistakes. You will face setbacks. You will have days when nothing goes according to plan. But failure is not the end. It is a lesson. It is an opportunity to improve, to grow, to become stronger. The only real failure is giving up. If you keep going, if you keep learning, if you keep adjusting, success is inevitable. Every obstacle you overcome is proof that you are capable of more than you once believed. Every challenge you conquer builds the resilience necessary to keep moving forward. This is what it means to take control of your destiny. To refuse to be defeated. To refuse to surrender. To refuse to settle for anything less than what you truly want. The path to success is not easy, but it is worth it. There is no greater feeling than knowing that you are in control of your own life, that you are shaping your future through your actions, that you are no longer a victim of circumstance, but a creator of your own reality. But you must be willing to let go of the excuses. You must be willing to break free from the patterns that have kept you stuck. You must be willing to take the bold, necessary steps to move toward the life you want. No one is going to do this for you. No one is going to hand you success. You must claim it. You must demand it. You must work for it. You must be relentless in your pursuit of it. And it all starts with one decision. The decision to take control, to take action, to stop making excuses, and to start creating the future you desire. Will it be easy? No. Will it be worth it? Absolutely. The question is, are you ready to leave behind the excuses? and step fully into the life you were meant to live. The choice is yours. Number 18, rewire your mindset to see challenges as opportunities. Your mindset is the foundation upon which your entire life is built. The way you perceive the world, the way you interpret events, and the way you react to challenges determine your level of success, happiness, and fulfillment. If you see challenges as obstacles meant to stop you, you will always feel defeated when adversity strikes. But if you learn to see challenges as opportunities, stepping stones toward growth and success, then every difficulty becomes a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Rewiring your mindset is not just about thinking positively. It is about fundamentally transforming the way you approach life. It is about shifting from a fixed mindset, where you see limits and barriers, to a growth mindset, where you recognize that everything is an opportunity to learn and evolve. Challenges are inevitable. No matter how skilled, prepared, or intelligent you are, life will always throw difficulties in your path. Some will be small inconveniences. Others will be massive, life-altering events. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not the absence of hardship, but how they respond to it. Most people see challenges as reasons to quit. They view setbacks as proof that they are not capable or that success is out of reach. But those who rewire their mindset understand that challenges are not barriers. They are tests. They are invitations to level up, to push beyond old limits, to prove that they have what it takes to keep going. When you encounter a difficult situation, your immediate reaction is determined by your mindset. If your first instinct is frustration, discouragement, or self-pity, it means you have been conditioned to see obstacles as threats rather than opportunities. But what if you could reprogram your mind to respond differently? What if instead of feeling overwhelmed by challenges, you became excited by them? What if every time you faced adversity, you saw it as a sign that you were on the right path? The most successful people in the world do not avoid challenges. They embrace them. They understand that challenges are where true growth happens. They recognize that every struggle carries with it a lesson, and those who are willing to learn will always come out stronger. Rewiring your mindset requires conscious effort. It is not something that happens overnight. You have to train yourself to see beyond the immediate discomfort of a challenge and focus on the long-term reward. When things do not go according to plan, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you must ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you must tell yourself, "I am learning how to overcome this." Instead of thinking, "This is too hard," you must shift to, "This is making me stronger." These small shifts in perspective can completely transform the way you experience life. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you become the master of your own reality. Instead of dreading difficulties, you welcome them as opportunities to improve. One of the most powerful ways to rewire your mindset is to study those who have turned adversity into success. Every great leader, entrepreneur, or visionary has faced massive challenges. They have encountered rejection, failure, and setbacks that would have made most people give up. But instead of quitting, they used those experiences as fuel. They refused to see obstacles as reasons to stop. They saw them as necessary steps on the journey. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Oprah Winfrey was told she was not fit for television. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company before coming back to build one of the most successful brands in history. What separates these individuals from the average person is not luck or talent, it is their mindset. They refused to see failure as the end. They refused to let obstacles define them. They understood that every challenge carried a lesson, and they were willing to learn, adapt, and persist until they succeeded. To truly shift your mindset, you must change the way you speak to yourself. Your internal dialogue plays a massive role in shaping your perception of challenges. If you constantly tell yourself that something is impossible, that you are not capable, or that failure is the end, you will always feel trapped by difficulties. But if you learn to speak to yourself with strength and confidence, if you remind yourself that challenges are temporary and that you have the power to overcome them, your entire perspective will change. You must replace self-doubt with self-belief. You must train yourself to see every setback as a setup for a comeback. You must learn to trust that even the hardest moments in life are shaping you into the person you are meant to become. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to see challenges as opportunities is fear. Fear of failure, fear of discomfort, fear of the unknown. Fear convinces you to stay where you are, to avoid risks, to play it safe. But the truth is, everything you want lies on the other side of fear. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of success comes from pushing beyond fear and stepping into the unknown. If you allow fear to control you, you will always stay stuck. But if you learn to see fear as a sign that you are growing, as a signal that you are moving in the right direction, you will develop the courage to keep going, no matter what. Another key to rewiring your mindset is to change your environment. The people you surround yourself with, the books you read, the content you consume, all influence the way you see the world. If you are constantly around negative people who complain about their problems but never take action, it will be difficult to develop a growth mindset. But if you surround yourself with ambitious, driven individuals who see challenges as stepping stones, you will begin to adopt that mentality as well. You must be intentional about what you allow into your mind. Read books that inspire you. Listen to podcasts that challenge your thinking. Engage in conversations with people who push you to grow. The more you immerse yourself in a mindset of growth and possibility, the more naturally it will become your own way of thinking. Another powerful tool in rewiring your mindset is gratitude. When you are facing a difficult challenge, it is easy to focus on what is going wrong. But if you train yourself to find gratitude, even in the hardest moments, your entire perspective will shift. Instead of seeing challenges as burdens, you will begin to see them as blessings in disguise. You will start to recognize that every difficulty is making you stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Practicing gratitude does not mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on the lessons and opportunities hidden within every struggle. It means understanding that even in the midst of hardship, there is always something to be grateful for. Rewiring your mindset takes time and effort, but the results are life-changing. When you stop seeing challenges as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities, you become unstoppable. No setback can break you. No failure can define you. No difficulty can deter you. You develop the resilience to keep pushing forward no matter what stands in your way. You begin to trust yourself, to believe in your ability to figure things out, to overcome anything life throws at you. The question is, are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to change the way you think? Are you willing to stop seeing challenges as reasons to quit and start seeing them as opportunities to grow? Your mindset is the key to your future. If you can master your thoughts, you can master your life. It all starts with a choice to see the world differently, a choice to embrace challenges instead of running from them, a choice to believe in your own potential. Once you make that choice, nothing will ever be the same again. Number 19. Own your flaws and turn them into your greatest strengths. Every person has flaws. No one is perfect, and that is what makes us human. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not the absence of flaws, but how they choose to handle them. Many people spend their lives trying to hide their imperfections, feeling ashamed of their weaknesses, or pretending they do not exist. But the truth is, your flaws do not make you weak. They have the potential to become your greatest strengths. The key is learning how to own them, embrace them, and transform them into powerful assets that set you apart from the rest of the world. Owning your flaws means accepting them without shame. It means looking at yourself honestly and recognizing that the things you once saw as limitations could actually be sources of power. The problem is that society often teaches us to see imperfections as things that need to be fixed or hidden. From a young age, we are conditioned to believe that in order to be successful, we must be flawless. We must always be confident, always be capable, always have everything figured out. But this is an illusion. The people who make the greatest impact in the world are not those who pretend to be perfect, but those who embrace their uniqueness, flaws and all. Think about some of the most successful people throughout history. Many of them turned what others saw as weaknesses into their greatest strengths. Albert Einstein struggled with traditional schooling and was thought to be a slow learner, yet he went on to develop groundbreaking theories that changed the world of physics forever. Oprah Winfrey faced rejection early in her career, with people telling her she was not fit for television. but she turned her unique style of emotional connection into one of the most successful media empires in history. Elon Musk was mocked for his unconventional ideas, yet he used that same outside-the-box thinking to create companies that are reshaping industries. What these individuals have in common is that they did not allow their so-called flaws to define them. Instead, they owned them, worked with them, and used them to their advantage. To turn your flaws into strengths, you first have to identify them. Take a hard look at yourself. What are the things you feel insecure about? What are the aspects of yourself that you have been trying to change or hide? Maybe you have always been told that you are too quiet, too emotional, too stubborn, too different. Maybe you have struggled with self-doubt, anxiety, or fear of failure. Instead of seeing these as negative traits, start asking yourself how they might actually serve you. Could your quiet nature make you a great observer, someone who notices details that others miss? Could your emotional depth make you more empathetic and better at connecting with people? Could your stubbornness actually be a form of resilience, helping you push through obstacles when others would give up? Every flaw has a hidden strength, if you are willing to find it. One of the most powerful ways to transform your flaws into strengths is to reframe the way you think about them. Instead of seeing them as limitations, start viewing them as tools for growth. If you struggle with speaking up, rather than labeling yourself as shy, recognize that your thoughtful nature allows you to choose your words carefully, making your voice even more powerful when you do speak. If you have a habit of overanalyzing situations, instead of seeing yourself as indecisive, recognize that you have a deep capacity for critical thinking, which can help you make well-informed decisions. The way you define yourself shapes your reality. If you choose to see your flaws as burdens, they will hold you back. But if you choose to see them as opportunities, they will propel you forward. Another key to owning your flaws is developing self-compassion. Too often, people are their own worst critics. They dwell on their mistakes, compare themselves to others, and beat themselves up for not being good enough. But the truth is, self-acceptance is the foundation of confidence and success. When you learn to be kind to yourself, when you recognize that flaws do not make you unworthy, but instead make you unique, you become unstoppable. Instead of trying to fit into a mold created by society, you start embracing the things that make you different. And in that authenticity, you find your true power. There is also great strength in being vulnerable about your flaws. Many people try to maintain a facade of perfection because they are afraid of being judged. But the reality is, people connect more deeply with those who are honest about their struggles. When you own your imperfections instead of hiding them, you become relatable, real, and inspiring. You give others permission to do the same. Think about some of the most influential figures in the world. They do not gain respect by pretending to be perfect. They gain respect by being real. They share their failures, their insecurities, their setbacks, and in doing so, they prove that success is not about being flawless, but about being resilient. One of the biggest mistakes people make is letting their flaws become excuses. They convince themselves that because they have certain weaknesses, they are incapable of achieving greatness. But the truth is, your flaws only hold you back if you let them. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow stronger. If you struggle with confidence, use it as motivation to develop self-assurance. If you have difficulty staying focused, find creative ways to channel your energy into productivity. If you are afraid of failure, push yourself to take small risks every day until fear no longer controls you. The more you challenge yourself, the more you prove that your flaws do not define you. Your actions do. It is also important to recognize that some flaws are simply differences, not deficiencies. What society labels as weaknesses are often just traits that do not fit into conventional expectations. A person who is introverted may not thrive in a fast-paced corporate setting, but they might excel as a writer, artist, or strategist. Someone who struggles with traditional education might not succeed in a classroom, but could be a genius in an entrepreneurial space. The key is to find an environment where your so-called flaws become advantages. Instead of trying to force yourself into spaces where you do not belong, create a path that aligns with who you truly are. Another powerful strategy for transforming flaws into strengths is embracing a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities, intelligence, and talents can be developed with effort and persistence. People with a fixed mindset believe that flaws are permanent and unchangeable, but those with a growth mindset see every flaw as a work in progress. They do not fear failure because they understand that every setback is a chance to improve. They do not let criticism break them because they use feedback as a tool for growth. They do not let insecurity stop them because they know that confidence is built through action. When you develop a growth mindset, you no longer see your flaws as roadblocks. You see them as stepping stones. You must also be willing to do the work. Owning your flaws does not mean using them as an excuse to avoid growth. It means accepting them while also striving to improve. If you struggle with communication, work on developing better speaking skills. If you lack discipline, create habits that help you stay on track. If you have difficulty managing emotions, practice mindfulness and self-awareness. Growth does not happen by accident. It happens through deliberate effort. When you take control of your flaws instead of letting them control you, you unlock limitless potential. At the end of the day, the most powerful thing you can do is own who you are. Every flaw, every imperfection, every so-called weakness is a part of your story. You are not meant to be like everyone else. You are not supposed to fit into a perfect mold. The world does not need more people who try to be flawless. The world needs people who are real, who are authentic, who are unafraid to embrace their uniqueness. The moment you stop trying to hide your flaws and start owning them, you step into your true power. You become someone who is confident, unstoppable, and capable of achieving anything. Because in the end, it is not perfection that makes you strong. It is the courage to be exactly who you are. Number 20, stay persistent. Even when progress seems slow or uncertain. Progress is not always immediate. It is not always linear. It does not always unfold the way you expect it to. Sometimes it feels like you are putting in all the effort, making all the right moves, pushing forward with everything you have. And yet, you see no visible results. It can be frustrating. It can be discouraging. It can make you question everything. Your abilities, your decisions, your potential. But what separates those who succeed from those who give up is persistence. The ability to keep going, even when it feels like nothing is happening, is what defines the truly unstoppable. The journey toward any worthwhile goal is filled with moments of uncertainty. There will be times when doubt creeps in, when setbacks test your patience, when the finish line feels impossibly far away. The mistake many people make is assuming that slow progress means failure. But progress is not always obvious. Growth is happening even when you cannot see it. The seeds you plant today may not bloom tomorrow, next week, or even next month. But that does not mean they will not bloom. Every step you take, every effort you make, is laying the foundation for future success. The key is to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps may seem. Many people start with excitement and energy. They begin their journey with enthusiasm, ready to take on the world. But as time passes and results do not appear as quickly as they had hoped, their motivation starts to fade. They begin to doubt themselves. They start questioning whether it is even worth it. They look around and see others moving faster, achieving more, reaching milestones while they feel stuck. And in those moments of doubt, many choose to stop. They convince themselves that maybe this was not meant for them, that maybe they are not capable, that maybe they should just quit. But what they do not realize is that the moment they stop is the moment they guarantee failure. The truth is, success is not about talent, luck, or even intelligence. It is about persistence. It is about showing up, day after day, even when progress is slow. It is about putting in the work, even when it feels like nothing is changing. It is about believing in yourself, even when the world gives you reasons to doubt. The most successful people in the world did not get there because they had an easy path. They got there because they refused to give up when things got hard. Think about the people who have achieved greatness. Every single one of them has faced moments of uncertainty. Every single one of them has encountered obstacles, setbacks, and failures, but they kept going. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he finally invented the light bulb. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination before he built one of the most successful entertainment empires in history. The common thread among these individuals is that they persisted. They did not let slow progress discourage them. They did not let rejection define them. They did not allow setbacks to stop them. Persistence is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It is about taking action even when conditions are not ideal. It is about working through the struggle, embracing the challenges, and finding ways to move forward despite the difficulties. Too often, people wait for motivation to strike. They wait until they feel ready, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. If you rely on motivation alone, you will give up the moment things get tough. Discipline, consistency, and resilience are what keep you moving when motivation fades. One of the biggest challenges people face when progress feels slow is comparison. In today's world, it is easy to look at others and feel like you are falling behind. You see people achieving success, sharing their accomplishments, reaching their goals, and it makes you feel like you are not doing enough. But what you do not see are the struggles, the failures, the years of hard work that went into those successes. Social media, headlines, and highlight reels only show the final product, not the process. If you compare your journey to someone else's, you will always feel like you are not moving fast enough. But your path is your own. Your timeline is unique. Stay focused on your progress, not someone else's. Slow progress is still progress. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to your goal. Even when you do not see immediate results, you are building momentum. You are developing habits. You are learning. You are growing. Success is not about making huge leaps overnight. It is about showing up consistently, doing the work, and trusting that the results will come. Imagine a person trying to break a stone with a hammer. They might hit the stone 100 times without seeing any visible change. But on the 101st hit, the stone cracks. Was it that final hit that caused the breakthrough? No, it was the accumulation of every single strike before it. That is how persistence works. You keep going, even when you do not see progress, because every effort is adding up, even if you cannot see it yet. Doubt is one of the biggest obstacles to persistence. Your mind will try to convince you that if something is not happening quickly, it is not working. But breakthroughs often happen when you least expect them. Many people quit right before they are about to succeed. They stop pushing just before the finish line. Do not let that be you. Push through the doubt. Push through the uncertainty. Keep going, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Because something is happening, you just cannot see it yet. Another key to staying persistent is shifting your focus from results to effort. Instead of obsessing over how much progress you have made, focus on the work you are putting in. Celebrate the effort, not just the outcome. If you focus only on results, you will feel frustrated when progress is slow. But if you focus on effort, you will stay motivated, regardless of the speed of progress. Effort is always within your control. You cannot always control how fast results come, but you can control your actions. Show up, do the work, keep moving forward. Patience is a crucial part of persistence. In a world that prioritizes instant gratification, patience is a rare but powerful trait. True success takes time. If you want lasting results, you have to be willing to play the long game. There will be times when you feel like you are moving in slow motion. But slow progress is better than no progress. Small, consistent actions lead to big results over time. A tree does not grow overnight. It takes years of steady growth before it stands tall. Your goals are the same. Give yourself time to grow. Resilience is what keeps you moving when things get hard. It is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to keep going despite failures, to refuse to quit even when the odds seem against you. Life will test you. You will face obstacles. There will be moments when you question everything, but those moments are what build strength. Every challenge you overcome makes you stronger. Every failure you push through makes you wiser. Every setback you face is an opportunity to grow. The people who achieve great things are not the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who refuse to let struggles stop them. At the end of the day, persistence is a choice. You can choose to keep going, or you can choose to give up. You can choose to believe in yourself, or you can choose to let doubt win. You can choose to push through, even when it is hard, or you can choose to walk away. The choice is yours. But remember this, every great achievement in history was made possible by someone who refused to quit. Every success story began with a person who kept going, even when progress was slow. If you want to achieve your goals, you must make that same choice. Stay persistent. Keep showing up. Trust the process. Because one day, all the effort, all the struggle, all the patience will pay off. And when that day comes, you will realize that every step you took, no matter how small, was worth it.